Okay, so I read something particularly shocking earlier. I'm just gonna read the first few paragraphs of this. It's a bit too long to read word for word, but I will put a link. This is the title. This is from Slate magazine, or Slate website. Um, Kansas's anti-gay segregation bill is an abomination, by Mark Joseph Stern. On Tuesday, the Kansas House of Representatives overwhelmingly approved a measure designed to bring anti-gay segregation under the guise of religious liberty to the already deep red state. The bill, written out of fear that the state may soon face an Oklahoma-style gay marriage ruling, will now easily pass the Republican Senate and be signed into law by the Republican governor. The result will mark Kansas as the first state, though certainly not the last, to legalize segregation of gay and straight people in virtually every area of life. If that sounds overblown, consider the bill itself. When passed, the new law will allow any individual, group or private business to refuse to serve gay couples if it would be contrary to their sincerely held religious beliefs. Private employers can continue to fire gay employees on account of their sexuality. Stores may deny gay couples goods and services because they are gay. Hotels can eject gay couples or deny them entry in the first place. Businesses that provide public accommodations, movie theatres, restaurants, can turn away gay couples at the door. And if a gay couple sues for discrimination, they won't just lose, they'll be forced to pay their opponent's attorney fees. As I've noted before, anti-gay businesses might as well put out signs alerting gay people that their business isn't welcome. And there's a few more paragraphs after that. I'll put a link to this. Incidentally, there's another adjacent link called Oregon's Vicious, Insidious Anti-Gay Segregation Referendum. So there's another referendum going on in Oregon. I find this absolutely astonishing. I always knew that the United States, certain red states, had a big issue in terms of LGBT rights, and a huge amount of homophobia exists in certain parts of America. But to actually see talk of segregation in the year 2014, it's shocking. The first thing that catches my attention about this is American hypocrisy, quite frankly. I've made videos defending the United States, but in this one I'm going to be pretty critical. Because the whole issue over the Sochi Olympic Games, a lot of American criticism was put out on the fact that there's homophobia in Russia. But so long as American states are having referendums on whether or not there should be segregation, I think President Obama is in absolutely no position to lecture the Russians. Now, it may not be his personal views, but nevertheless he represents a country where these sort of things are happening. So America's in no position to lecture anybody on homophobia. It's just utter hypocrisy. But the fact that this is happening is just, it's absurd. For obvious reasons, you'd have to be a pretty cold-blooded homophobe to not see that there's something seriously wrong with this. I mean, it's astonishing. And there should be international pressure put on the United States, specifically states in question, to change this. I mean, religious liberty is just a code word really for discriminatory policies. I mean, where is this going to end? You know, they're saying that it's to give religious liberty to people who don't agree with a gay lifestyle, to refuse gay couples, but where will that end? I mean, I believe it was Kansas, that in the late 90s there was a young gay man, I think his name was Matthew Shepard, who was murdered in a vicious homophobic attack. I think it was Kansas, don't quote me on that, but clearly Kansas has a very big problem with homophobia. And it would be a very tough place if you're gay, because this is just an abomination. The writer's correct. It's an abomination. And any reasonable-minded person, whether you're conservative or liberal or centrist, see that this is just, it has no place in modern America. You know, this is, and another problem with it is, it's going to be ridiculous side effects, because from now on, straight men are going to be misjudged if they're with another man. So it's actually going to impact straight people as well, in the sense that because the level of homophobia is so deep, if two straight guys decide to go out for a beer as friends, just relax, watch a soccer match or whatever, they're going to be assumed to be gay and refused. So this stupid law is going to have a side effect anyway. I mean, what's the criteria for knowing if someone is gay or not? Just because you happen to be with another man or another woman? It's insane. And congratulations, Kansas, for making yourself an international laughingstock to all of us who have a moral compass. I mean, this is a disgrace. So Obama should look at this, and so should the US Senate and the House of Representatives. They should really reflect on this and think twice before criticizing Russia or any other country, because this is a disgrace. And Obama should be doing everything in his power. I appreciate that the president doesn't have absolute power, but he can vocally condemn them and call them for what they are, backward. I mean, look at how far African Americans had to come to get civil rights. And I'll just make a point about that. There are some African Americans who get angry when this is compared to civil rights, but you cannot choose whether you're born black or white. In the same way, you cannot choose whether you're born gay or straight. There is not a gay gene whereby, what I'm trying to say is, until you can prove that it's a lifestyle choice rather than an orientation, then, well, I saw a good analogy. Telling gay people, and there's a controversial ex-gay movement, telling gay people that it's just a fad that they're going through is a bit, me as a straight man, if someone was to tell me, oh, wake up tomorrow morning, be attracted to men, I absolutely couldn't do it. I know I couldn't, because I am physically, sexually and aesthetically attracted to women, and I always will be. So asking a gay man or a gay woman to change, it's just absurd. So there is some homophobia, frankly, within the African American community, and I do think it's hypocritical of them, given what they went through with the civil rights movement. This isn't universal, I'm not saying this applies to everyone, but there's definitely homophobia within the African American community, and I think it's profoundly hypocritical. So, yeah, this is just an abomination. Let me know your thoughts, and shame on Kansas. I'll put a link to that article.